Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us right now, the head football coach at Elysian Fields, Eric King. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How you doing?
Doing fine. Thank you very much for talking to us today. Congratulations on your run through the playoffs, moving into the semifinals. Now, explain to me how it is that your team can get crushed by ARP. You come back and beat them in the playoffs. You get crushed by Hughes Springs. You come back and beat them in the playoffs like you did.
Well, I want to say it's coaching, but I think it's the kids. We had such a special group this year. Last year we had a team that was pretty good, and this offseason lost a few players transferring out or just some problems, things like that. And, a lot of people questioned our team, and they kind of bought in. And once we lost to Hughes Springs, we really, really took a day off that next Monday and just sat in the locker room and talked and kind of just, what can we do differently and kind of things, what works here. And I think the kids really decided then, this is our season, and we're going to buy in and make the changes possible. We're going to buy into what it takes to be special, and we weren't going to wait to do that.
So what did those changes look like? What did you do?
I think a little soul searching for the young men, and also the coaching staff. We sat down and looked at what was really not working and took a step back and kind of just, this works and this is working. Let's try to fix this and tweak this. And really and truly, it's been one of those hit and miss kind of things. We've been perfect since then. We've made the right changes, twisted the right nut and bolt here. Just personnel changes. The offense is a little different now as well. Just made every right change, and some of that's luck as well, but it's also good coaching and players are bought in. Now,
when you went into the season, did you see this team being a team that could be going as far as it's gone so far?
I thought it was possible just for the fact of these young men and just the character they built and also the ability they have athletically. But, if you just said, you're going to be 11-3, and after you lose to Hughes Springs by 40 and ARP by 30, you're going to beat the playoffs, I said you're crazy. So like I said, it's the kids. They really have bought into what it takes to be a champion.
Okay, so you've made this run now and won the 4 playoff games, and tell me about the Hughes Springs game and how you managed to pull that one off.
Hughes Springs has always been the big bad wolf to us. Our kids, in the past have been scared of them kind of sort of thing, and they're big and physical and just push us around. And that's why last Monday I challenged the kids of just, you just beat ARP, you beat us by 30. And it was at Hughes Springs, they beat us by whatever it was the first time. When is enough? When's enough of just getting tired of getting pushed around? And they bought in all week. They got tired. The mentality of, we're going to push them back now. Being pushed around the last 3 years is getting old. Let's go ahead and push them back a little bit. And the kids bought into it and just refused to lose. They drove the ball on us here and there, and defense stood up and held them to the lowest point total, and I guess this season, maybe last year as well. Offense was great. Just the kids have bought into the mentality of, we can be anybody we play.
Now, when you were down 14-0 to Hughes Springs in the first half, were you worried that your kids were going to be talking, saying, here we go again, or did you feel confident they could come back and win the ball game?
Well, I felt good just for the fact that when they scored, defensively, we'd had the ball. They had the ball, I guess, for, I bet 40 plays in the first half. It was a bunch. And we gave up, a couple of big plays here and there, but not bad. I turned to a couple of kids on the sideline, and they were fine. They were clapping up, and really we're still excited. We had been down before. But the kids, like I said, it's a different mentality, different team. They just bought in the fact that we're not going to lose.
Okay, and then right before half, Trevor Spears throws a 62-yard touchdown pass to Nate Hall, and I know you called it, right? Tell me about it.
I am probably the worst. That's why I call defense. I don't call offense. I'm pretty conservative, and I'll be on take a knee and talk to my OC and my guy on the sidelines, and coach will run a safe play. Well,
it's safe, huh?
Yeah, it went off the receiver's hands into Nate's hands, all in the air, middle of traffic. Nate catches it and reverses, still goes house, and then I called that play. Of course I called it, but no, it's just one of those things that it's been that kind of year for us. The breaks you learned against us this year, that break was for us. That was a huge play for the half.
And then you score again and miss the extra point, so you still trail 14-13 in the fourth quarter. Tell me how you won the football game.
Well, they were driving on us, and our kids had just fought all game. Hughes Springs is such a good offense. Our kids really followed them up pretty good. I could go 300-some yards, which was not bad. They drove to, I think, our 20 or 15 in there. We held them on downs. had timeout left, about 3:21 left, and when we had the ball, it was confident. Trevor and Nate Hall are connected at the hip, seem like. And one big play there down the 50 with one play. I think it rolled out once, and the last play we threw a bomb to Nate, drug 5 guys in the end zone for a touchdown. So the place was bonkers. I mean, it was a wild atmosphere, just the fact of district rivals playing in a local stadium. Probably the biggest crowd I've been around in a long time in a toy football game. Just a great game by two great programs.
And it had to be so satisfying to be able to exact revenge on two teams in the course of these playoffs to get where you're going. I mean, that's great in its own right, but then to do it against teams that did wear you out earlier in the year had to feel just terrific.
It sure did. It was good. Also, I respect both those coaches a lot. I respect those programs, but for our kids and the future of this program, that was the biggest part. That we can do this. We're relevant again. We're actually one of the top teams in East Texas again. It's been a while. We're back to where we should be, and that's really what that was the most satisfying part of it. These kids have worked towards that. These seniors have all been on varsity since freshmen, and have been through 5 and 5 and 4 and 6, and last year 8 and 3, first round loss in the playoffs, and for them to work as hard as they have, they deserve this. And it was something really gratifying to me and very touching that happened the way it did, because you can see the hard work they put into it, and see they were determined to win the ball game.
Good stuff. Who've been some of the leaders? Who've been some of the real standouts on your team this year?
Trevor Spear, our quarterback, has got 47 touchdowns, something like that one season. 3,000-something yards total offense. The quarterback who really stepped up. Nathan Hall at receiver, Christian Smith at free safety, linebacker. Tanner Norman has 216 tackles in the season. I can go on and on. I say just a lot of young men have stepped up, and I can go on for another 5 minutes probably. And it's also the guys who aren't playing any, who have decided instead of pouting about not playing, clap those guys on who are playing. It's just an overall coaching staff where we had our OC, Sean Strew, he's probably one of the best ones in East Texas. Our DC, Brandon Jocelyn, has done a great job all year. O-line coach Scott Hale. Just goes on and on. Community's bought into our program. It's just been a great year.
I have to ask you about Isaiah Golden transferring out and going to Carthage. When you lose a player like that would probably be a pretty emotional hit for your whole football team, and yet you seem to rise above that and just be able to, I guess, go with the next man up mentality there. What kind of impact did that have on your football team?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm sure there were some doubters in the community that we couldn't win without him, and Isaiah's a great young man, and I wish him the best at A&M and wherever he goes to school at. We had some young men that just decided to step up and decided, they got tired of hearing that we couldn't manage without him. And he was a great player. He's a great player still. And we hope he does good, but we also decided that we're going to win, no matter who's here or who's not playing. Our kids bought into the fact of it's our year. Why not us? Well, people say that U Springs or R for whoever's going to be. Well, heck, what about us? And that was our motto all year, just to step up and do something special this year.
All right, so you play Refugio this week now, and I'm sorry, East Bernard beat Refugio this weekend. I was talking to a guy from Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and he says, Refugio was the king, East Bernard beat the king, and so they're the king now until somebody knocks them off. What's your opinion of East Bernard? Were you surprised they beat Refugio?
I've watched him. The quarterback down there is really good. I've seen about him for a while just through camps, things like that. I thought it'd be a close game. Was not expecting that kind of a game. Just by watching the video, they're good. They're probably the most balanced team we've seen all year. They're a lot like U Springs in a lot of ways, except for the fact I think one thing U Springs struggles with is throwing the ball. Throwing the ball around is what somebody don't do well. East Bernard does. So, do you load up on the run or back up on the pass? Because you're about to get, I'm saying? They're very good. And we've probably got our biggest ball game this season, just the fact of the distractions. I mean, heck, it's like the 4th of July over here in Mission Hills today. I mean, people are going crazy, want tickets and autographs, and it's wild. And focusing on them come Friday in a big place like that, Fort Case Stadium in Baylor, and being as good as they are. I mean, we've got our hands full. They're a great ball team. Quarterback's great. O-line's big. The receivers are 6'5", 6'2", and 6'2".
Wow.
You know, their defense is very physical. We've got our hands full, but I think if we play the way we can and are focused and play as a team, then we've been in the state of Texas.
Okay, and I have to ask this. I don't know the story, but what is your situation at Elysian Fields right now?
I am the head coach here until told otherwise. You know, I'm going to be here for these kids. That's why I chose to stay this year. The school board itself chose to us to focus on things to improve and chose to not renew our contract with the option of renewing it after the season. That's not in my hands. We're just going to play for this state title. You know, if I'm here 20 years or 20 days, it don't matter. We want to win the state title, you know, for these kids.
Well, the reason I was asking is because I do White House football, and we've gone through the same situation down here with Randy McFarland, and I'm just wondering. I saw how he handled it, and he handled it very, very well. And obviously, you've handled the situation and the uncertainty very well too. And you've managed. How have you managed to keep it from being a distraction for you and for your football team?
Well, my wife is probably the best wife I could ever have. You know, Brandy, I've met, you know, she coaches as well here, and we've been together for the last, about 6-7 years now, I guess it is. And you know, there's days, so sure, you get discouraged, you know, because anybody knows Elysian Fields football. Elysian Fields football as well. It's a tough job. You know, Chad Morris and Phil Castles and Ted Patton and Benny Mitchell, the list goes on and on. Great guys here. And there's days where it does get tough. And she'd already done a support system. You know, and that's the biggest thing. And also the kids, you know, I got here 4 years ago, and they were all freshmen and seniors were. And I think, you know, it could have been easy to go somewhere else. The offers were out there to go somewhere else. But knowing how special these kids were and how much they wanted to win, I just felt like I owed it to them. And knowing the coaching staff's well to stay.
Well, obviously you've done an outstanding job there, Coach, and again, it shows you the importance of what good coaching means to a football team when you can come from a situation where you talked about losing to Hugh Springs and having to sit there and regroup and salvage a season, and not only salvage it, but to move into the state semifinals and be 2 wins away from a state championship. You guys have done a tremendous job. So, you know, whatever the situation is, I have a feeling good things are about to happen for you regardless, right?
Well, we sure hope so.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. It's great talking to you. Congratulations on your run through the playoffs so far, and best of luck to you on Friday night against East Bernard.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Eric King, the head football coach of Elysian Fields, on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.